And then he raised his hand where he would ask a question of Amy Poehler and Tina Fey about a silly Coneheads bit.
All right, show of hands if you stayed up until midnight waiting for Blake Lively to drop this freaking amendment.
So I wanted to weigh in on the Blake Lively drama as someone that has worked with her and someone that's worked with directors in Hollywood.
Blake Lively case involving Taylor Swift and Brian Friedman and all the characters that are involved.
The legal drama surrounding Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively, and Ryan Reynolds has taken yet another jaw-dropping twist. This time, with none other than conservative firebrand Candace Owens stepping into the fray. And let's just say she's not holding back. Never one to shy away from controversy, Owens has now set her sights on Ryan Reynolds, dropping bombshell claims that could change everything we thought we knew about this case. While the spotlight had been fixated on Blake Lively's legal showdown with Baldoni, Owens suggests that the real puppet master behind the scenes might just be Ryan himself. But what exactly is she accusing him of? And could these revelations completely shift the narrative? Buckle up, because things are about to get very interesting.
Served by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, aka the Lively Parties. Earlier this week, the Lively Parties issued subpoenas to cellular providers AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. The subpoenas seeking all documents concerning ingoing and ongoing calls or text messages related to the phone number belonging to each of the individual Wayfair parties, some of their employees, and various non-party individuals, including but not limited to call logs, text logs, data logs, and cell site location information. The subpoenas seek such information over a period of multiple years, in most cases spanning from December 1st, 2022 to the present. Now, luckily, any phone calls made to T-Mobile probably didn't go through.
Blake Lively's team has finally broken their silence, and their response has only made this situation even messier. Missed deadlines, shocking new filings, and recently leaked text messages that seem to implicate Ryan Reynolds. This case is spiraling into pure chaos. Tensions between these A-list celebrities have reached an all-time high, and the drama continues to escalate. But here's the actual question. What precisely did Candace Owens divulge, and how is Blake's team attempting to minimize the consequences? Buckle up, because the most recent developments in this legal tempest are really jaw-dropping. Blake Lively's legal team has delivered a game-changing document that might alter the entire course of the lawsuit. This filing does more than merely defend Blake. It vigorously disputes Justin Baldoni's assertions, pointing out potential contradictions. But here's the catch. While the lawsuit is clearly a strategic power play, some legal experts fear it may not be enough to stem the mounting tide of investigation. And now that Candace Owens has entered the picture, Blake and Ryan are under more pressure than ever. So, what does this imply for the future of this case? More importantly, what more mysteries might still be hidden in the shadows?
All right, show of hands if you stayed up until midnight waiting for Blake Lively to drop this freaking amendment. Okay, am I the only person with their hands raised? Are you guys just here to plagiarize because you know I went through every line like a complete psycho? That's perfectly fine. I just want you guys to know rather, that if you're here because you think there's some bombshell in here, as her lawyers were alluding to, oh, wait until everybody sees everything, you're gonna be sorely disappointed, because if clickbait was an amendment, this is it. Okay, I cannot believe it. And there's so much more going on here. Now we really see the target of everything, I think, really the linchpin for her lawsuit, the person that she went after. We have to discuss Isabella Ferrer. All that coming up right now on Candace. I said yesterday on the show, 100% Ryan was the one who put this line in here. Not SNL, not Tina Fey, not Blake Lively, but Ryan. And sure enough, some amazing mommy sleuth sends me a link yesterday, which you guys don't forget, you can always email me tips, info@CandaceOwens.com. And she says, check out this broadcast on an Australian radio show called Fifi, Fev, and Nick for Breakfast, literally an Australian, a Melbourne, Australia station, where they had a guy who's been with SNL for like 25 years. His name is Cue Card Wally. He literally holds the cue cards for SNL.
Kirsty Fly, a Hollywood journalist, recently discussed the emerging issue and questioned whether Blake Lively's public narrative accurately portrays the complete story. While Blake portrays herself as a victim of legal overreach, detractors, including Owens, feel there are hidden factors that could change the entire story. These revelations have left fans wondering how much Blake's legal team is actually sharing.
She brought Ryan Reynolds gin, aviator, no, what's it called? Aviation.
Yeah.
Aviation gin, and she put it like, you know, I mean, you probably saw a clip of it when she was putting it in front of the camera and started pouring him. And he's like, you don't even drink yourself. She's like, no, but it's so sexy. And started talking about how sexy the glass was. And she doesn't even drink coffee, but she likes the way they make it. And she just like made this whole charade about this gin. And he was just sitting there like, I think at the end he got like 1 minute of like a real interview with her.
Right.
And so she just wasted his whole interview. And you know, what if he was a recovering alcoholic and feeling like...
And how is a jury going to view somebody like Blake Lively? Was she a victim? Was she somebody who was, you know, a poor employee that has no power? It doesn't seem that way to me. So, I mean, what was your impression of that?
Well, you know, I've experienced her a couple of times face to face. And to me, she doesn't come off as a person who is too scared to, you know, speak up against someone or to call someone out. She seemed like a very confident woman in front of other people. Maybe she has insecurities and stuff like that. But, you know, the way she was acting in my interview, she doesn't come off as a person who is letting other people step all over her. So I am having a really hard time seeing her as a victim of this. I mean, she could be a victim of other things.
Candace Owens has switched the attention from Blake to Ryan Reynolds, revealing that he played a larger role in the legal drama than previously thought. Owens claims Ryan was significantly involved in legal strategy and may have affected crucial choices about Blake's case against Baldoni. Owens' charges have sent shockwaves across Hollywood, with many questioning why Ryan, known for his laid-back public attitude, is so heavily involved in this affair.
And then he raised his hand where he would ask a question of Amy Poehler and Tina Fey about a silly Coneheads bit. But Amy and Tina asked how he was doing, and Ryan responded, "Great, why? What have you heard?" Another instance where he was making fun of his wife's alleged sexual harassment. The first time was when he mocked the incident of her being the victim of Justin Baldoni's abuse by having a Baldoni-inspired character in the most recent Deadpool movie. Nice Pool. Nice Pool was a Ryan Reynolds creation, and his little joke on SNL 50 was something that at the very least he signed off on.
While Blake's team tries to gain an advantage, Justin Baldoni refuses to back down. His current legal response accuses Lively of relying on hearsay and lacking meaningful facts to back up her assertions. Baldoni's side claims that the lawsuit is based on dubious grounds and is simply a strategy to silence him. This robust response from Baldoni indicates that the legal battle is far from over.
Delulu Lively dropped her amended lawsuit against Justin Baldoni. The Duchess of Gaslighting doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down, and made new allegations against her director, producer, and co-star in It Ends With Us. The allergic to receipts, uncredited director of It Ends With Us insists that Baldoni sexually harassed her. And not just her, but other cast and crew on the set of their movie. No receipts were included, but a pinky promise that when it comes time to discovery and testimony in a courtroom, there will be people willing to do that.
Blake Lively's legal team recently issued an invasive subpoena demanding significant information from Baldini, which sparked fury on his part. Many see it as an attempt to scare and tire him legally, but it might also backfire by making Blake's side appear unduly aggressive. Legal experts are now discussing whether this approach was strategic genius or a mistake.
So in this video, I'm going to share Justin's response to the insane request that Blake Lively which is 2.5 years of unlimited conversations, website thoughts, what he ate for lunch, all the different things, right? So, not, I'm exaggerating, but I'm going to share their response to that, saying, "This is a game you want to play? Are you going to reciprocate? Because we'll look into your side too, Taylor Swift." So it's getting pretty wild out there.
Adding to the uproar, a colleague who previously worked closely with Blake Lively has come out to share open details about her interactions. Her evidence offers insight on Blake's off-camera behavior, raising suspicions about the actress's true personality during the litigation. First-hand stories are contradicting Blake's carefully manufactured public image, and the pressure is increasing.
So I wanted to weigh in on the Blake Lively drama as someone that has worked with her and someone that's worked with directors in Hollywood for over 10 years. I worked at a talent agency and then a management company. And I specifically, at one time, actually worked with Blake Lively. So I want to color in what's going on here. For context, when I worked with Blake, it was one day. She was doing press for Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. This was end of May, beginning of June 2005. I worked on a show that was on the Fuse channel, which was like a local competitor to MTV in New York City. After that, I went on to work in Hollywood at CAA, which is WME's competitor, and then management companies where I worked with directors. So I actually do have a lot of perspective here. In addition to, I grew up on set. I was a local Nepo baby because my parents both worked in sports TV. So I grew up going to set all the time, which was a gaming show that we were doing, or a contest show. So I get dressed down for don't talk to talent, don't treat them like you're a fan, and I'm like, I literally, like, what? So I guess she went and complained that me specifically, of all the interns, treated her like a fan, and she was so uncomfortable. Okay, I'm extremely weirded out. I actually cried on the train home. I used to take the train back to Long Island. Like, I was mortified. Like, again, not only did I not treat her unprofessionally, but nobody to my experience that I saw spoke to her. Like, this was our 8th show. We knew not to talk to talent. Everybody knew that. Okay, so I wipe it off, whatever. Years go by, I wind up working in a talent agency, and this is where working with directors and experiencing harassment in my own right comes into play.
When the intimacy coordinator participating in the disputed sequences testified, he gave important information confirming Blake's discomfort claims. This comment gives more context to the case, revealing that tensions occurred during filming. While this supports Blake's case, Baldoni's team contends that discomfort does not imply criminality.
You can't even compliment people these days. Everyone's so touchy. Have you ever considered asking someone how they like to be complimented? No. It's important to remember that compliments are for the person that you're complimenting, so it's really helpful to find out how they like to be appreciated. How would I find out? You could ask how someone likes to be complimented on their appearance, if they like to be complimented on their intelligence. You could ask what kind of compliments feel good.
In a shocking twist, Blake Lively's legal team missed the deadline to file their response, sending it late, possibly minutes after the deadline. This has aroused concerns about possible chaos or last-minute scrambling in her camp. Opposing counsel is likely to utilize this as proof of procedural errors that could jeopardize Blake's case.